Things are happening so fast.
The only moat is speed.
Disruptors are getting disrupted all the time. If you can't keep up, you just disappear. Many people had the thought that now LLMs are just going to use computers and do everything for us.
That's right, yeah.
The reality is there is a gap between what LLMs are good at and capable of versus what human beings really need. In the past, we human beings, we are the production engine. We do work. We learn how to use tools, and then we craft our work word by word, pixel by pixel. Now, you command your super agent, hey, build me a presentation. I'm pitching to an investor to raise $1 billion. We wanted to build $1 trillion company. Hell yeah, when the reasoning model just came out, we were like, wow, this thing could really work. It could make plans, it could execute plans, but it's not easy to build a customer base of 5 million users. Within 45 days, 2 million people sign up. If you focus on making human beings happy, you're going to be successful. That's our philosophy, that's our focus, and that's our bet.
You grew to 2 million users in 45 days. Inside of the company, what held and what broke first?
I love that question. So basically...
Hey climbers, thanks so much for joining me on Climb by VSE. I am so thrilled to have on today Wen Sang, who's the COO and co-founder of Genspark. Genspark is an AI workspace that puts busy work on autopilot so knowledge workers can get shit done. Since their launch, Genspark has passed 50 million in ARR in under 5 months and raised from investors like Emergence Capital Partners, LG, SBI Investments, and Up Honest Capital. This fantastic growth is something I'm so excited to dig in with Wen today, because Wen is a serial entrepreneur and he's built hard-earned scar tissue from selling software in the real world. I'm excited to dig in with him about the ins and outs of what it takes to build a fast-growing, hyperscaling company. Wen, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Jay, for having me. Super excited.
I'm really excited for this conversation. So in the simplest way, what does Genspark do and who is it for?
Genspark builds AI agents for knowledge workers, 1 billion plus global knowledge workers. In the past, we human beings, we are the production engine. We do work. We learn how to use tools like Microsoft 365, Google Suite, Slack, Notion, you name it. And then we craft our work word by word, pixel by pixel. Now, with Genspark Super Agent, you don't do that anymore. You command your super agent, hey, build me a waterfall financial model. I'm selling this company. Hey, build me a presentation. I'm pitching to an investor to raise $1 billion for my AI fund. All of these work now are essentially commanded by you, executed and completed by your Genspark Super Agent. And then you tell the agent if you're satisfied with the results. This is a fundamental shift, Jay. So essentially, in the past, we had to do work. And human value comes out of being busy and doing work. Well, now it's all changed. We no longer have to work. We can choose to work. And our value comes out of creativity, strategic thinking, the high leverage stuff. Our value comes out of the results, finally. We don't have to be, just get busy with, let me tweak this logo on this slide deck, let me fix that word on this document. None of that anymore.
So you're eliminating the busy work.
We're eliminating the busy work, and we're empowering knowledge workers to get a lot more freedom. We believe everybody deserves more freedom, optionality. Look, you can decide to do more and accomplish more time on your hands. You can also just, lay back and then chill for a three-day work week.
Yeah.
If that's your choice. It's freedom for you.
And this wasn't always the problem that you started with. So as I understand it, the company started with this idea of AI search. What was wrong with that problem? And when did you discover, hey, there's a much more important problem we could be solving?
Well, search by itself is absolutely a worthy problem. But we were just not satisfied with, only just getting you information. Because, look, in the era of AI, knowledge, information, they're so abundant, accessible, and personalized. That's table stakes. And so many people are working on it. We worked on it. We built a great solution. We got to about 5 million users. We were happy about it. But we were not satisfied with it because the potential of this new AI wave of breakthroughs, it does not stop there. You got to ask the question, why do we need information? Why do we want knowledge? Well, we wanted to get the job done. Can we actually push steps further and get the job done? That was a question we asked ourselves. And the answer was, hell yeah, when the reasoning model just came out, we were like, wow, this thing could really work. It could make plans. It could execute plans. Of course, there are still steps to take. We can get into details from a technology standpoint, but yeah, we saw the potential. We're like, okay, let's actually get more done for human beings.
Yeah.
Why stop here?
I want to double click on that piece for a second because, as an investor, right, what is that conversation like with your investors, with your team, when you've got 5 million users, on the surface, things are working.
Yeah.
And you go, guys, we have to make a change.
Yeah. Well, it's not easy. Let me tell you that. I mean, it's not easy to build a customer base of 5 million users. I mean, let alone the investors, our own team. Like, the users were screaming, like, why are you doing this to us? So it's not easy emotionally. But look, Jay, we're in such a time that things are happening so fast, right? We hear about stories of how disruptors are getting disrupted all the time. But more importantly, it comes down to our ambition. We just believe that this team and with this set of new technologies, we can do more and we can accomplish more. We wanted to build $1 trillion company. I mean, Microsoft 365 and Google Suites, these two products, not even companies, these two products add up at $60 billion of top line.
Yeah.
That's public information.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't do work for you. They're tools. They're excellent tools. We love them. We integrate with them. Actually, Microsoft 365 agent just announced our partnership yesterday. Our view is we human beings are much better off if we could just leverage our creativity, our strategic thinking, versus we have to just, spend time on busy work. And we just believe it is that time for us to enable that. And getting information is only step one. Really getting the work done is how we wanted to help shape the world.
So it's telling the team, not that this is not working, it's,
Right.
hey, look over here, look at this big problem that we could really go at.
Exactly. Yeah, we can go to the moon. Why stop here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about this AI workspace landscape, you talked about 365 and Suite and, this whole variety of tools, Superhuman and Coda and everything. When you think about this landscape of AI workspace tools, right? Genspark is among a group of a lot of different workspace innovations that are coming out.
Yes.
What do you think people are over-indexing on that you feel like Genspark is saying, no, actually, this is where the opportunity is?
So, to your point, I think, there's a lot of buzz. People have expectations or imaginations. So when the AI agent word just came out, beginning of the year, like people say, this is going to be the agentic year. Many people had the thought that now LLMs are just going to use computers and do everything for us.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, that is a great vision to have, but you got to come down to kind of earth and then see if that is actually realistic. Many companies out there, they bet on that. They bet on, okay, LLMs are just going to use computers, but the reality is there is a gap between what LLMs are good at and capable of versus what human beings really need to in terms of the real work output, work results. We learned about that fairly early on, and we're like, we believe the amount of intelligence and reasoning power the LLMs have, it's good, and it's sufficient for us to do good things, but it's not enough. So we're not just going to bet on LLMs. We're going to build tools for them, give them arms and legs, and allow them to really touch the real world by, it may be search the web, may it be process a document, may it be writing Python code on Juniper Notebook to plot a chart so that you could stick that onto your presentations. But LLMs by itself, they can't do it. We took a more realistic approach. They're powerful, they're intelligent, we understand their limitations. Let's not just wait here. Let's not say, let's just put it together and then let users use it. No, at the end of the day, human beings, users are pretty smart. It's pretty easy for us to tell if we're spending more time, going back and forth with the AI and teaching the AI how to do things versus I'd rather do myself, right?
Yeah.
Or, it's one prompt, job done.
Yep.
We wanted that. Now, to do that, we saw many people made the bet that, LLMs are good at, no, they're not. They're not yet. So we basically said, let's build the tools for them. Not only build the tools, but also when it comes to making the output reliable, accurate, and usable, we pay to get private database access to, align the results like PitchBook, Crunchbase. Now we're thinking about S&P and, Bloomberg databases to make sure that results are good. Because at the end of the day, as a knowledge worker myself, I didn't do any Olympia level math problem once in my last 10 years of lifetime, okay? What I wanted is good emails, good presentations, good financial models, solid documents.
Yeah.
That's what's, important. And built technologies around to enable those things for us.
Yeah.
For agentic AI is more important than just making the model smarter and smarter.
Well, give me a real customer story where you're able to go in and actually say, hey, these are all these tasks that you are doing where you are maybe still using enterprise-grade LLMs, you're copy-pasting this work, and we're going to be able to build a end-to-end automation for you to take that busy work away.
I was in a conversation with the CFO of a publicly traded real estate company, and he said, look, since the beginning of this whole AI movement, we've been searching for solutions, and we tried so many tools. My team is so busy putting together the filings every quarter, putting together the supplements, the earnings reports every quarter. It's a lot of work, and we're all busy. We've been looking for a solution that could help us just make that process a lot autonomous, a lot easier. But we've tried so many tools on the market, 20 plus. None of them are good enough in terms of the results they spit out. It's just not ready, except you guys. When I tried you guys, it's like, wow, clearly it's context rich. It's like boardroom ready. That was kind of a moment. I felt like, wow, okay, this is real. When you do good work, that your product is giving people the opportunity to just do one prompt and then it's ready to go. That's what matters.
Yeah. And technically, how do you achieve that next layer of thinking or expertise or execution that the other tools on the market aren't able to do?
Our technology is kind of a 3-layer architecture. We actually released the world's first mixture of agents, technology architecture for agentic AI. It's called moat now. So what that is we work with 30 plus state-of-the-art models, from LLMs to multimodal models, from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google models. We work with all of them to open source models supported by, Fal AI, Fireworks AI, Together AI, Higgsfield AI, all of these companies. We work with them all. But what's important is we built this orchestration layer. What that does is our super agent will be able to call on these different models at different times to leverage their strength because they're good at different things. Yeah. So OpenAI models are so far really good at reasoning and planning. Cloud models are really good at coding. Google models used to be really just good at artistic stuff like image, video, but then with Gemini 3, it seems like they're getting a lot better at coding as well.
Yeah.
So, we call on these models to leverage their strength to accomplish, every single task you have. That's the bottom layer. On top of that, as I mentioned earlier, LLMs are good. They're intelligent, but they need arms and legs to do real work. So we built 100 plus in-house tools to essentially give the LLMs the arms and legs to do real work.
What's an example of those in-house tools?
So it could be, process a document, throw a document in, and then just to take it apart. It could be, if you wanted to plot a chart, we don't just call on the image generation models to generate an image. That's not accurate and usable. We actually ask our agent to call on possibly an open source model to write Python code, and drawing all the data and then plot it out, proper data visualization, and then put that onto a presentation. So all of these things you have to build around. And to build that around, not only you need to build the tools, you also need to context engineer the tools so that LLMs are using them the right way at the right moment to make sure of that. It's actually not that easy. Underneath it's tremendous amount of trial and error. You have to test, you have to try. We're partners with OpenAI, Anthropic, and all of these folks. They actually published case studies about us.
I saw the trillion token in your office there.
Yes. Sam Altman highlighted us as well on the OpenAI Dev Day.
Yeah.
One of the trillion token companies. It's only going to go up. But yeah, so to that, before they release frontier models, we would get early access, and we would test the models with our agentic setup, and they would actually ask for feedback from us. Like what is good, what is not, and then before they release, they wanted to incorporate those feedback, and then we would release it on the same day on our platform, on their platform, and essentially throughout all of these processes, we truly understand how to leverage each of these models to build a chart, build a financial model, build a podcast, build anything you need. They come in different flavors, and you want to make sure you're using them the right way.
Yeah.
So the models, model orchestration, the tools. On top of that, as I mentioned earlier, we also pay to get access to private databases to make sure the results that our users are seeing, it's not just based off fast web search. Web search is good, but not good enough, not reliable enough. People say all kinds of things on Reddit. you got to be able to kind of cross-check it.
Yes.
To make sure it's factual, it's useful, because after all, we're building for the working environment. We're building for entrepreneurs, investors, corporations, businesses, organizations. These are all serious people. Like,
I was an investment banker 15 years ago, and if I was in that job today, and somebody said, "Where did you get that number?" And you would use a public source like Statista or IBIS or whatever.
Exactly.
You get laughed out of the room, right?
Right,
You have to have a certain level of specific data sourcing.
Yeah.
That has to be a level of rigor.
Yes.
That you can't just say, "Oh, I used a publicly available source that nobody
right.
validates."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Credibility comes with that. Yeah. So absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Let's talk about growth.
Yeah.
You grew to 2 million users and mid 8-figure ARR in 45 days. Inside of the company, what held and what broke first in that stress of that growth?
I love that question. That's a good one, Jay. So basically, when we first launched, it was all for individuals. We didn't do anything else except just push it out on our X, on our LinkedIn. And then all of a sudden, people from all over the world, they just started signing up. Throughout that, I'd say what held was really, we have amazing technology talents on the team. Like our founding team, one of our co-founders was an early founding member of PyTorch and scaled Facebook Messenger for, from 0 to billions of users. I won't get into details of the others, but yeah, all early Google, built search engine, all that. So our technology really held. Scalability is extremely important in today's world. When we're an AI native company, 80% plus of code is written by AI at our company. That's why we can get on a streak of release, new products on a weekly basis. Now, when we do that, normally, like, technology systems, they break first. But for us, it was pretty solid. The 3-layer technology we built, it enabled all the new releases. That was good. All of a sudden, like, when individuals use the Genspark Super Agent and they got excited, they would tell their friends. They would tell their colleagues.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Word of mouth. So, and then they would reach out to their IT team and leadership team at their company saying that, I want this thing. Buy this thing for me. I want this for my work. And then what broke was, like, at a time, we didn't have any plans for business.
Yeah.
Like, team plan, enterprise plan. Now we didn't have any of that. And we didn't have a public webpage talking about that at all. Like, there's no webpage saying that you could contact sales. So what happened? The users wrote in support at genspark.ai. I want a corporate plan. Give me a corporate plan. I want an annual plan. So it was like that. And within a very short period, without us doing any like promotions, whatnot, advertisement, none of that, people were just flooding to our support email asking for all the corporate plans.
Is there a product decision or a brand marketing decision that you think contributed to that growth? If you went back and sort of picked one moment, you were like, I'm so glad we did that.
Yeah, I think it all came down to, the quality of the output. Human beings are smart. It's pretty easy for me to tell, like, within 10 minutes, I sign up and I try this thing. Is this good or bad? Like, a lot of tools out there, you typing a prompt, something will come out, that's for sure. But, can I use this? I'm not sure, right? And then if you use Genspark Super Agent, you type in a prompt, normally the reaction from people is like, whoa, this thing's ready to go.
Yeah.
So we've heard about this from so many people, and they were like, wow, this is just so good that I don't feel like I'm wasting time. I'm actually gaining time and freedom out of it. That's the key. Yeah. So we basically doubled down on output quality. We constantly improve output quality through our in-house eval benchmark.
Yeah.
So that's a piece of tech that it's essentially a reward-based algorithmic mechanism that helps our agents to get better and better to provide usable, high-quality output. And underneath what that really is that agent would make better and better decisions on when to call on what model to do what and when to call on what tool to do what. It's that. So we would learn from our, the metadata from our the user behaviors, like if this result is like one shot, it's ready to go, or it's like something else. And then out of that, the product output quality continues to, improve, and people just love it. Our retention comes from that. There are a couple of other things beyond that. One is we observed that when we release new product features, new products, people love it. There's better retention. There's more people signing on. So that's what kept us on, releasing.
The more you ship, the more you're getting people to try out the product. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm thinking like one part of that is, of course, you pay $25, you have a better and better package. Who wouldn't love that?
Right.
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 On the other hand, when people discover new possibilities, it's like a hella experience, right? Like before, I thought you can only do documents and spreadsheets and so on. But now, whoa, you can do a podcast when it comes to the topic and so on. Like, because I was on my way to a panel session the other day, and I looked at the prepared questions. I'm like, I'm not familiar with that topic. I don't know if I can actually talk about that intelligently. And then I didn't have time to read. So I basically told Genspark Super Agent, hey, research on this topic. Build me a podcast. I'm going to listen to it on my way over.
Yeah.
I did that. I felt, much more familiarized with the topic, and I talked about it with confidence. That was awesome. Like, that was absolutely not possible before, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, things like that and new experiences really delight.
Those magic moments are what people come back for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's so interesting to me too, how quickly people's expectations go up with this stuff. I'll use myself as an example. So I use Replit Agent, right? And I'm going to try the Genspark Agent out next. But when I was playing around with Replit Agent last week and I was building something with my kid, he makes all these, Lego things. I wanted to make a website where I could track all the Legos that he was making. And I was getting so frustrated with the agent that I couldn't figure this one thing out. And I had to take a step back and go, we built that website in 3 hours, and I'm complaining about this one little feature the agent can't get right. If I tried to code that thing myself or make it in, Webflow Framer, whatever, it would have taken me so much longer. But all of a sudden, my expectation for quality goes up as well.
Yeah.
So how do you make sure as a team, you're responding to those customer requests and that customer love?
Yeah.
And when do you decide, hey, this is not a priority for us. People may churn out if they don't like it, but we're going to focus on kind of this true north. How do you make that product decisions?
That's an amazing question, Jay. So as of today, we executed about 10-15% of our product roadmap. We have big plans. We're just constantly going. But when it comes to customers' feedback, we love them. We love honest feedback. We solicit honest feedback from our users, from our customers. Those are the things that, drive us. So when I was in this conference in Nashville in the beginning of September, launched Tennessee, but this is the state of Tennessee. They organized this startup conference, companies, investors, all good people, right? I went there and I, out of blue, I met one of our power users, actually. Her name is Sarah. She told me, look, Wen, I love you guys, but I would really love it if you could build me an agent that I could kind of shape it myself using all your off-the-shelf capabilities. Why? Because my friends are asking me to build them this AI to do certain particular things. One of them is actually a priest wanted to talk to a particular version of the Bible, through AI. And she said, he'd give me $10,000 if I could build this.
Wow.
Right now, you guys are awesome. You have all of these agents, but I wanted to be able to build it myself. So I took that feedback, to our tech team, and they were like, "This is brilliant, of course." So we just built that, and we released it in about a month. She was thrilled, and now we're seeing a lot of utilization on our customer super agent. It's pretty clear that the creativity and the wisdom and the context, the expertise of our millions of user base is way more than us, right? A small 40 people team.
Yeah.
Absolutely wanted to leverage off that. And we're going to constantly take the feedback from our users back, like physically or on X or on LinkedIn or wherever. And we're going to turn them into new possibilities for our users. We love doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about maybe 4 steps on the ladder up to 50 million ARR, right? So launch, the first 5 million, 25, and then 50. How has the company changed, and how has your thinking changed in terms of what you prioritize at each of those rungs of the ladder?
I hear you. To be honest, Jay, it felt like there was only one run or no run at all. So it all just happened. I mean, look, I would say in the very beginning, it was like we were not sure. We were not sure if people would like it, actually. So we didn't really have much of an expectation. But then, to your point, like within 45 days, 2 million people signed up. We were like, oh, this thing's real. And then we realized, okay, people are picking this up more and better if we continuously improve our product output quality, and if we continue to release new products. That continued to be our focus. We're a product company. Our top priority is always product.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, I think that this is coming to July timeframe. A lot more corporations started reaching out to us. PE firms in Japan, investment banks from London, oil gas companies from Bogota, Colombia, government agencies from Dubai, UAE, consumer electronics companies from Korea, telecom companies from Singapore. Like, they all reached out. We're like, whoa, how did you even hear about us? Like, our employees used you guys and they loved it. They pushed it to leadership team and IT team. They wanted us to buy it for them. So those were the moments like we're like, I'm not sure if we didn't have those corporate plans. So we're like, okay, maybe it's time for us to actually build those out. Centralized management, centralized the billing, all the security stuff. We initiated our work to go through the compliance frameworks like SOC 2 Type 2, ISO 27001, 4201, GDPR. All of these are now, in the works.
Yep.
So that is because that's what matters to these big corporations, right? I'd say we expanded our scope more, further from just building products to, okay, how do we cater to our clients' needs?
Yeah.
How do we make sure the things that they care about, the centralized admin, the security stuff, as well as, the integrations. We then built out, actually since the very beginning, but this really enhanced our kind of a focus on building out integrations with, Microsoft Suite, Google Suites, Slack, Notion. We have 640 plus MCP servers today. You can add your own MCP servers to our Genspark Super Agent Suite. So you don't have to manually do the copy and paste like how you use, some other, AI tools like, okay, let me copy this paragraph and back and forth. That's just way too much. For me, like, I don't write my own emails anymore. I'm like, Genspark, scan through my inbox. Tell me what's going on. And draft the responses for top 5 urgencies, or priorities. Or, I could just build a customer agent and then scan through my inbox automatically every day. And then just tell me what's going on. So that's how we essentially, kind of everything follows what the customers wants.
Yep.
Right? We're a product company. So, but we take care of our customers.
How does pricing work in that way, right? We are coming out of this last 15 years of SaaS. People expect per seat pricing. But now with AI, it's about replacing, tedious labor, or it's about augmenting labor that you can't even hire for, or it's about, saving people time and hours. So how do you go from seat-based pricing to utility-based pricing?
It's a process. Now, the world is entering into this token economy. To your point, back in the last, SaaS kind of days, it's per seat. And the cost of goods sold for technology companies is really just cloud hosting. That was it. The margin is really awesome. But now, let's be honest, everybody's paying premium to LLM providers, right? Like OpenAI and Anthropic. We're great partners. We are chilling to a company for a reason. We pay big dollars for that. All to do good work. But now, and then they pay premium to Amadia.
Sure.
Eventually, all money flows that way. But underneath, the reality is exactly to your description, Jay. The tokens are getting, created and consumed because the real work is done and completed here. And to that, the structure of cost fundamentally changed. It's no longer just cloud hosting. Our code is on Azure and all that, but we still need to pay money for that. But we also need to pay for access to APIs to all of these major LLM providers and even open source models, right? Because of that, right now, how our pricing is structured is there is a seat fee to get you in the door, but we allocate credits, which is mapped to tokens, to reflect the nature of this whole new token economy.
Yep.
You would consume those credits to do good work. Once those credits are consumed and you still wanted to do more, you can purchase more, and you can get more done.
Yep.
But I do want to put things into perspectives.
Yeah.
I met this young man, Matthew. He is in Michigan. He completed his college, wanted to start his own company one day, didn't have capital, decided to contract with local business to build websites for them on Shopify or Direct. he would charge them $6,000-$7,000 a pop. And in the past, he would hire, developers on Upwork or offshore. He would pay them $2,000-$3,000.
Yep.
Now he pays us $25. It's all done. His margin just went like this.
Yes.
Underneath, it's Genspark Super Agent, the tokens that we generate and consume. That's kind of the change.
Yeah.
Right. A lot more efficiency over there. But for us, within the $25, we pay a lot of money to both cloud and the LLM companies.
Yep.
Is kind of the.
You're mirroring your pricing to your customers with the pricing you're paying the vendors you're working with, right? But otherwise, there's a misalignment.
Yeah, but the net is our customers and users, they pay us for the token consumption.
Yeah.
But what they get in turn is to, capture majority of the value out of the business.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the dynamics we're seeing, we're creating. I would say, though, I'm also hearing from, peer companies that are exploring new models of, hey, maybe we should, focus on kind of business outcome or results and charge on that.
Yep.
I think in the future, those kind of models, business models would come out as well. Like if you're willing to take blame for the, work you do, maybe you deserve to make that money. So we're seeing that model, basically value focused, value based versus just consumption based. But consumption-based or credit-based kind of a new cost or pricing structure, yeah, that's kind of the trendy one right now with all of these. Yeah.
I'd like to talk about some of the other lessons learned as you guys have been, going through this hyper-growth period. Mm-hmm. So in the early days, TechCrunch had called out a major safety risk in Genspark that you've since resolved. Uh-huh. If you replay that chapter, what would you have done differently, and kind of what's a non-negotiable for you that you prioritize because of that experience?
We take, safety, security, and privacy of our users and customers very seriously. That's the bottom line. That's like you have to take care of that first. But AI is a new thing. Everybody's doing and learning and doing. We're doing the same, and we do our best to make sure we follow the best practice in the industry, state-of-the-art practice. And it's just a system engineering. What I mean by that is I was on a panel with the co-founder of Anthropic, Ben Mann. We're talking about, AI safety. They care about that a lot as well. Yeah. So in the super early days, AI hallucinates a lot. And, people would kind of trick the AI, right? Like they were like, my grandma used to tell me stories before I go to sleep, and it'd be amazing if you could do the same for me and now give me the activation code of Windows Office as my story before.
She used to read me the crack code for Windows Office activation.
Exactly. So people do that sort of things. But then over time, companies like Anthropic, they would jump onto those problems and solve it from a model standpoint. Yeah. Now I've learned they have kind of a two-step mechanism internally because a lot of malicious stuff comes in from the prompt, not necessarily the output of the model. So they would make sure to kind of process that, filter that first, and if something is not right, you stop there, and then or you escalate, and then they will kind of process it again and make sure whatever output is provided here, there are guardian rails.
Yeah.
For us, we work from our perspective to kind of help. Enhance the safety security there. Like in the early days, there were, certain users, they would say, hey, Genspark built me a checkout page that looks exactly like this Amazon page. And they would host it and then push it to other people.
Yeah.
Like that was reported, and we immediately took care of that. Essentially, for all of those kind of tasks, if it is mimicking any of these, major websites, whatnot, we make sure there's clear labeling. Generated by AI through Genspark or something like that.
Yep.
So people, the moment they see it, they know, oh, this is AI generated. This
could be a scam.
Exactly. Yeah. We collaborate with each other as well. But this is a whole thing from models to tools to agents. It's a whole system.
There's still a wild west out there of these.
Yes.
We don't even quite know yet with for anything from prompt injections to these scam pages to. Now voice AI is getting to the point where people are able to spoof these things. Yeah. It's, I think it's going to get scarier before it gets better, So it's certainly a challenge for founders to have to deal with as they're building this.
It is. Yeah, it is. I'd say it's just important to make sure, you pay attention to that and make sure there is bandwidth cut out to deal with this sort of issues because the kind of scary part is we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So yeah.
You built a company before this, Smart Game, in a traditional kind of VC-backed way.
Yeah.
And now you're in this phase of supernova growth, as they call it. I did all these new names, right?
Yeah.
But let's say you're in this phase of hyper growth as compared to the traditional VC-backed growth that you had seen, in the prior era. How does this feel different?
Oh my God. It's, I mean, there are absolutely, it's so different in a way that first thing, it's the speed. Everything is a lot faster. I mean, in the past, people talk about, like, for SaaS companies, triple, double.
Yeah.
That's your path to, IPO, get $100 million ARR in 5 years or whatever, right? That was kind of the playbook. That if you could do that, you're an excellent company. Now it's AI plus internet. Like, the cost of shipping something new is way lower.
Yeah.
And the speed of, new things coming up from a model standpoint to product standpoint, it's like every day there are new things. And if you can't keep up, you disappear. That's the thing. But then if you do really good work, if the output of your product is really of high quality, if you constantly give people new wow experiences, oh my God, people from all over the world could just sign up easily, right? You're no longer bounded by kind of, I need to, do whatever the distribution is what the internet infrastructure in place is just so much better, so much easier.
Yeah.
And people hear about all of these new things all the time, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, right? So it's just a lot easier for people to get to know what's happening out there. I'd say it's a lot faster. It's day and night.
On that note, I've heard you say a couple times before, there are no more moats in AI. The only moat is speed.
Yeah.
Is that really true? Or, can you think about things like data or customer love or brand as being moats in this space? Or do you think all of that is done with?
Well, I said that to make my point. That was a lot of emphasis on the no moat part. But look, it is happening in a way that things are happening in a way that, it's playing field for everybody. Leveled playing field for everybody. Like, there's no reason someone couldn't come out and say, I'm just going to do exactly that, right? Like, everybody has access to these LLMs.
Yeah.
It's a new kind of world. It's no longer like, okay, product market fit. Oh, I'm all set. Let's just sell to more people. It's no longer like that. Not only because everybody could do exactly the same, but actually more importantly because today, the disruptors, they're getting disrupted, not competed with by new companies at a much faster pace than before.
Yeah.
Back in 22, when it comes to code generation, everybody was talking about Microsoft Copilot. And then it's web-serve cursor. And then it's Replit, Claude Code. I mean, now Gemini just came out with this new model that is so good at coding. Like, these all happened within, like, short 2-3 years. That was not the pace we were working with, like, years ago.
Yeah.
So because of this, it's not that just that, companies are going to come out to compete with you to do the same thing. It's more like you never know if, for the same things you want to accomplish, if someone would just come out with a complete new way of doing it, and then, like, your way of doing it is just completely rendered, like, obsolete. That's why I'd say, there's this old book written by Andy Grove, only the paranoid survive.
Yeah.
Yes. It is happening right now, live.
Yeah.
Like, a much faster pace.
From an organizational standpoint, how do you design a company and design an organization that is optimized for speed?
We're a flat organization. What I mean by that is we're a small team, 40-some people. We have one product manager. That's Eric, my co-founder, our CEO. So for us, it's one to two people would lead one complete product project. We have people on the infra side, but we build that to scale. On our founding team, we have early members at Google who could just, build really scalable. And so it goes with Meta, YouTube. We got experience from all of these amazing companies, right? Built scalable technology foundation. And then on top of that, our engineers, each of them, we don't have like teams like, front-end team, back-end team, design team. Like, they don't, team and team collaboration is a little, I wouldn't call it slow, but it takes process, right? So for us, it's like every engineer, pretty much, you could just code away and then push forward and then just push things online, and then just do it that way. So that's speed. And then we embraced AI for coding like in much early days, and we continuously get onto the new tools, so whatever is better. So yeah, 80+% of the code is written by AI at our company, and that gives us a lot of speed. Like things it usually takes a quarter or whatever to release. Now it's like days. We're not even talking about weeks.
Yeah.
But we still absolutely make sure all the code is being reviewed, and whatever goes into production, they're of high standards. That's where the human insights come in.
Yeah.
And so,
if you were advising another founder going through this period of hyper growth, they grew from 0 to 5 million and they want to get to 50.
yeah.
What piece of advice would you have for them?
I would say focus on the product. If you have gone to $5 million of ARR, that means some people, for some reason, they just love your stuff. And I'd say make sure that the output quality is awesome, and make sure you're giving them more new, better experiences. Focus on the product. That is what matters today.
That's great. Well, I'd love to close with you on a couple of questions. Maybe we predict ahead, even though these days things are changing so fast, it's hard to know. When we look back in 10 years, what consensus viewpoint on agentic AI do people have today that you think is going to be totally wrong?
Wow, that's such a profound question. So I think some people, I wouldn't call it consensus. Some people say knowledge workers, they're just going to go away. I think that's nonsense. That's silly because of agentic AI, right? My view is if we look back 10 years from today, there will actually be more knowledge worker jobs. Look, human demand is ever expanding, okay? We're like the universe. Human beings, if we could produce more, we always want to consume more. I mean, each of us probably consumed more than a king like 1,000 years ago every day, right? Why? Because we produced more. I'm not talking about wealth distribution. I'm simply talking about with agentic AI, it's pretty clear that we can't accomplish more with the same time period, right? And when that happens, each of us would likely have the opportunity to have more, to consume more. And because of that, more things would need to be created. So that's the cycle we're seeing. And because we want more, there will be more jobs. But the jobs will be very different. Jobs today is about how many hours you spend on doing something, acting. Jobs in the future is going to be about how much business results you actually accomplish, how much value you actually create, actually results. Results, we're getting to kind of a truly like results kind of oriented world through this. And yeah, the expectations on all of these knowledge worker jobs are going to be different. It's going to be more. It's going to be higher quality, higher standards, more about the results, less so about are you here in the office typing, right? That's the difference. Yeah.
That's a fantastic place for us to leave it. Wen, this has been such a fun conversation, just seeing the amazing growth that you guys have had in just the last year and all the lessons that we were able to take from that. So I hope that founders listening lean in on their product. They think about customer success and enterprise maybe a little bit sooner than you had expected to.
Yeah.
But more than anything, they think about how they're planning for that world that's changing ahead and just trying to stay ahead of it. So I appreciate all of your insights and your time today.
Thank you, Jay. Look, one last thing I'll touch on here is at the end of the day, it's human beings.
Yeah.
If you care about human beings enough, if you focus on making human beings happy, you're going to be successful. That's our philosophy. That's our focus. That's how we prioritize things. And that's our bet. We bet on that human beings is going to thrive with AI. And yeah, we want it to be part of that.
That's fantastic. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Jay.